Hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? Sorry, oh, I think maybe I messed something up. There I am. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to get Instagram to go live and I looks like I'm live there. Uh-oh, I forgot my microphone. All right. Let me make sure that my oh, okay. Yeah, I thought I hit my mute button. Okay. I'm just not, some of these things you can set up ahead of time, and some of these things you cannot. So drop me some comments while I'm getting situated to see, to say hello, tell me where you're watching from, and all that other fun stuff. I'm going to pull up Facebook just really quick so I can make sure that you can hear me. If you can hear me, drop me some comments. If you are not, if you haven't given StreamYard permission, I probably won't be able to see um, who is watching or see your name when you, let's see. Um, okay. Yeah, you can hear me. All right. So we're going to put that aside. So, yes, say hello. Tell me where you're watching from, where you're watching at, because right now I'm going into YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. So you have all kinds of choices. Oh, I got my first person watching. So say hello. Tell me where you're watching from and what you're watching on, because today we're in lots of different groups. I am getting this technology thing. So just so y'all know, that way you can watch me wherever, whatever works for you. So welcome to our Lunch and Learn. I'm going to go ahead and get to it because I got a lot to cover. And this is a heavy subject. And I know a lot of people are not comfortable with it, which amazes me because I don't know if you're like me. I watch TV nowadays and I'm amazed at what they advertised that or what they advertise. Yeah, I'm not even going to repeat them because my husband and I look at each other. We're like, really? Where did all this stuff come from? When did it become okay to advertise of all of this kind of things, all these private things that we just had in our bathroom cabinet for all these years and didn't talk about out in public? But now we're talking about everything of but money, and I don't know why this is such a taboo subject. Um, and I do want to give credit. I saw this article actually this morning because I was like, oh, today's Wednesday. I got to do a lunch and learn. This is from Kiplinger, and the article was written by, let me get her name, Charlene Burgess. Okay. So check it out. She did a great job going through this. So why are people so reluctant to talk about their kids, talk to their kids about money? I don't know. Okay. That's my easy answer. I don't know. I don't understand it. Sorry about that. But I can tell you, after spending 20 years in the military, we got kids in there that didn't have the first clue. It was the first time in their life they really had their own money and had to make decisions on themselves. And most of the time, they did not make good decisions. So please, 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 if you're a parent and you're hearing my voice, please consider that. Don't let somebody else, whether teach your kids about money. So when why do we feel this hesitation to talk about money? Is it because it's too personal? I mean, that could be it. We don't want our kids to know what our money situation is. And this is across the board. This just isn't sorry, I'm distracted by numbers and stuff. So this isn't just like affluent parents don't want their kids to know how much money they have. It is not middle class or lower class families who don't want their kids to know that they don't have money. This is across the board. People are not talking to their kids about money. And there are different conversations, of course, for different ages. But we need our kids to realize that money and things that money buy don't just fall from the sky. They don't accidentally happen. And for some reason, we think that's not appropriate to let kids know this. Santa Claus is one thing, but Santa Claus is not there year round. So, how are we teaching our kids that, or are we teaching our kids that when they want things, they don't always get everything they want, and those things cost money? Where does that money come from? So that's what we need to really look at is, you know, what are we telling ourselves and what are we telling our kids? Because of course, the conversation that you have with a 3, 4, 5 year old is going to be different than a 15 or 16-year old or a 30-year old. Our oldest daughter just turned 40 last year. So you have to have different conversations with kids at different age levels. Now we're talking to our kids about estate planning and what happens when we die. And people don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about money, and they certainly don't want to talk about death. So, but we owe that to our kids. It's kind of like, people that make their burial plans. I think that is one of the most responsible things that we can do for our kids, because you have to consider this is one of the hardest things that you're going to go through in your adult life or in your life is to bury your parents. And I know this is this is deep today, but we have to consider that it's going to happen, because the worst thing in my mind as a parent is to bury a child. The natural progression is for our parents to pass away before the children. So, how are we setting our kids up when we're gone? Or do we have a trust? Do we have even a will? There's so many people out there that don't have wills. Okay, so sorry, I've gotten off on something, but let's talk about money, which goes with wills and trusts. So, but that's a different subject. So, what we're going to talk about is the reality of, discussing wealth and money. Are we teaching our kids an abundance mindset, or are we teaching them a scarcity mindset? So that's some of the things that we need to look at. And a lot of times, y'all know that kids are going to pick up more of what we do than what we say. So, when we see something that may be, whether it's expensive or not, or whatever our level of expense is, oh, that's too expensive. Oh, we don't have that kind of money. We're not those kind of people. What are we teaching our kids about having money? Is it bad? No, money is not bad. Are there bad people with money? Yes, but there are bad people without money too. Reality check, they're out there. So we don't want to teach our kids that money is bad. Money gives us choices, and choices are good. And just think of the people that we can help if we have money or when we have money. So, money gives us that pathway to self sufficiency, responsible stewardship of the family's financial legacy. So, we want to introduce these money concepts to kids as early as 3 or 4. But, like I said, those are different conversations than our teenagers, 20s, 30s, 40-year-old kids. But we want to lay that foundation, because you don't want to wait until they're 18 years old and it's time for to get them to get out on their own to start teaching them about money. You're a little late. That ship has sailed. They think that things just fall from the sky, and we don't want them to do that. But as our children get older and our conversations evolve, we can teach them about saving and budgeting, and eventually we can talk to them about our family's wealth situation. Whether you consider you have a wealth situation or not. But like I said, we want to be good examples for our kids. So we don't have to share specific, sorry if y'all, I know sometimes S's come out a little rough on the mic, but we don't need to tell them exactly what's in our checking account or what's in our savings account or what kind of investments we have. Now, maybe later on, like the stage of life that my husband and I are in, those are conversations we probably need to have with our kids. We keep telling them that our goal is to spend their inheritance before we die. So, if they want money, they need to earn it. But we do that with family vacations and spending money on quality things and quality time that we can spend with them so they have memories of us and they don't just receive a check in the mail of because when my mom passed away, that's what happened. It wasn't a big check, but I received a check in the mail. I much would have rathered, it means more to me, the memories that I have of her than what I received from her when she was gone. Okay, we're all on the same page. So, we need to teach our kids how money is earned, how it's managed, how it's used, and what it's good for, what it provides. It provides the roof over our head. It provides the food on our table. It provides the clothes on their back, on our back. So we need to make sure that we are being responsible with our money because, like I said, they're going to pay more attention to what we do than what we say or what we say to them. So, early discussions, education, wealth, that's an added benefit because it gives children the vocabulary and the context for further lessons as they get older, and you can make those lessons a little bigger. And one thing I want you, because I realize that not every adult has financial knowledge. And that's one of the reasons that we're not teaching our kids because we don't know. Hi, Cindy. My sister died. I bought burial plot for all my children and your parents. That is so good. Yeah. And it is a morbid subject. I understand that, but we all die, death and taxes. That's what we all have in common, no matter where we're at. But if you're one of these people that do not have a financial vocabulary because you were never taught, because this is not a subject that is taught in schools. I remember when I was in school, I think I was supposed to take calculus, and I really didn't want to take calculus. So I took a class that they talked about budgets, they taught us how to write checks, how to balance our checkbook. That is a class, probably doesn't exist anymore, but and drop me some comments. Do y'all have kids in school? Do they still do those kind of things? But that was a class that I think everybody should take because it is so needed. I don't even know if kids know what a check looks like. But if you do not have this vocabulary and this knowledge, because like my parents, nobody taught me how anything about money. I had that one class in school. No one ever taught me about investing, as far as whether it's a 401k or buying stocks. I just had a little extra money. I said, I think I'm going to buy some stocks. That's what adults do. So I bought some stocks and, I researched. I'm a researcher, always have been. But and I found some. I didn't lose money. I held them for years. I didn't lose money, but it probably wasn't, the best investment I could have. But luckily, my husband and I, when we got together, we got a financial advisor and we worked with him to create our goals and how we were going to reach them. Let's see, but it makes me feel at peace knowing. Yes, it definitely is a feeling of peace, Cindy. Thank you so much for that comment. She said, when her sister passed away, she bought burial plots for her children and her parents. And it's just that feeling of peace. Sorry, I keep looking outside. A friend of ours is over and his dog runs all over the place. It's a shiny object. So, but it gives her a feeling of peace knowing that that is taken care of. And that's why a lot of people make funeral arrangements ahead of time, because as your family is going through one of the worst scenarios in their life, that's something they don't have to think about. They don't have to sit there. I went through this with a friend of mine. Her husband passed away, and that funeral director, I wanted to reach across the desk and choke him out because he made her feel so guilty and so scared that, a regular casket leaks. If y'all don't know that, it does leak. So she ended up buying a vault to put the casket in. And I mean, he made a fortune off of her, and I was so mad at him. I'm still mad at that man. I really could have reached across the desk and just like, oh, snap. Um, one daughter took a class in college, nothing in high school. They can't read cursive either. Yeah, you're right. I don't know how they're going to write a check because they can't read cursive, can't read it, and they can't write it. But if you don't know about these things, find a financial advisor that will walk you through talking to you about money so you can learn, and then talking, so they can give you the tools to talk to your kids. And if your kids are a little older, like I said, these conversations, maybe he can talk to all of y'all at one time. So, but you have to kind of look at that. But, you want to teach them about planning and budgeting and expense tracking, because I've seen too many kids out there that, oh, I've got money, I've got checks, I got money. Well, that used to be when they had a check. They got a debit card, and unless the ATM machine tells them that they don't have any money, a lot of times they don't know. And that is scary. Okay. But let them be a part of, maybe you're planning for a family vacation. How fun would it be for your kids to help plan for that? Set the budget. Okay, this is because I can tell you our oldest granddaughter's 20 years old, and she talked about she lives in Missouri. She talked about moving up to Kansas City. I said, well, what do apartments run in Kansas City? I don't know. Well, how much is insurance if you move to Kansas City? I don't know. Okay, well, you need some answers. So don't wait till they're 20 years old, ready to move out on their own, to ask the questions and to teach them these things. Let them, maybe next time you're planning for a family vacation, say, okay, once you decide on where you're going, let's look at how much it costs for us to go for a weekend or for a week. There's nothing wrong with teaching your kids that and having them be a part of it. Okay, we need to save this much money so we don't put it on a credit card because we're responsible adults. I know. So, let them look at, okay, maybe we're going to cut out Starbucks if you're a Starbucks drinker, or coffee, going out for coffee. Maybe we're going to show them that every day mom and dad gets up and makes coffee at home. We've got our travel mug, we've got our foo-foo to put in it, and show them literally how much you saved. Oh, we're going to take that $6 or $8 or $10, where depending on where you live, and we're going to put that in a piggy bank or a jar, get a big jar and put that in, and let them see that money, that is being saved for vacation. Let them help create a budget, or create, like, what do we want to do while we're there? Okay, this costs this much. This costs this much. So look at things like that. Oh, Cindy, I can see your comments over here. Um, oh, I have money and it's gone. That's funny. Yeah, if you break a 20, everybody knows that once you break a 20, it's gone. We don't know where it goes. But so as for the older children, we want to have honest conversations about money, estate planning. And like I said, you don't need to get into how much mom and dad have in their checking account. You might want to talk about, like, your investments, how much you have in investments, so they have a good idea. But clarify your expectations as far as, like, their responsibilities within the family estate and the level of financial support they can expect. Um, Whether maybe it's going to college. Do your kids expect you to pay for their college? Is that a realistic expectation? Maybe, maybe not. So, but you don't want to wait until they're putting in college applications, or worse, they're getting college acceptance letters, and you're trying to jump through hoops trying to figure out how to pay for it. So those are conversations that it's okay to have with teenage children. Okay. Um, things that make the conversation easier. It's uncomfortable, uh, but it needs to be done. It's kinda like the sex talk, okay? If we talk to them about sex, we should be able to talk to them about money, hopefully. Um, it's but it's a good thing. So, let's see. I'm sorry, I'm going through, like, my notes, and I just wanna make sure that I know I'm getting low on time, though. Of challenges and discussing openly, but when you open up to them, it makes them more comfortable. So if you are open and honest with them, they're going to be inquisitive. They're going to ask questions about money and, maybe the cost of things. Our youngest granddaughter is 12 years old and she goes to the grocery store and she'll tell her mom, "Oh, I'll buy this with my money, mom. It's expensive." And her mom's like, I have money." So, but 2 totally different kids, our granddaughters, same mom. So, but 2 different, um, realities about money, 2 different thought processes about money. Let's see. But we want these conversations to be practical. We want them to learn the terminology. So that way when someone is talking to them as they get older and maybe we're not around, um, we can they know what the conversation, they can follow the conversation. They may not be um they may not be mature enough to really add much to it, but at least they can kind of sit and listen and absorb things. So, but that having these conversations with our kids, that really fosters trust and transparency within the family. So children don't feel like they're being talked around or talked down to. They are part of financial decisions and therefore they take ownership of the family's finances. It's not all about me and what's in it for me and what I want. It's about the bigger picture of family finances. We go on vacation, but can we afford to do everything that I really want to do? Well, maybe not. Um, but like I said, look at financial advisors, and there's all kinds of different levels of financial advisors over there. So if that's something that you think will help you, look for somebody that's a financial advisor or a wealth management that might be a little more advanced. And I don't really know the levels. I know we've got our money guy. That's what I call him. He's our money guy. He tells us what we can and can't do. And as you get older, you'd be surprised what you can do. So, um, but we want to empower our children. We want to teach them our family's values, not what values they're picking up on the street or that they're learning from their friends, because we just don't really know what their family values are. We don't want our kids to take on somebody else's family values. It's our responsibility to teach those family values to our kids, and that empowers them. It gives them practical skills to make well-informed decisions. We don't want to wait until they're getting ready to get out on their own to learn these things. But let's see. But we want to take this journey. This is a worthwhile journey that we can take with our kids and with our family. And that way, from the time that they're young, they are learning that the power of and the choices that money gives us. So your next vacation, or maybe you're having a party, maybe it's their birthday party. How fun would that be? Let them see what goes into planning a birthday party and the expenses that, and I'm not saying that to make them feel bad. Okay, don't get me wrong. I don't want the kid to say, "Oh, I can't afford a clown because it's cost too much." That's not my purpose. Let's see. Dave Ramsey has a program to teach teens about money. It's great. Thank you so much, Cindy. That is so good to know. Um, but I definitely encourage y'all. Oh, I'm just about out of time. I encourage y'all to um, sit down with your kids and don't wait till they're teens. I mean, Dave Ramsey is great, but if you're waiting till your kids are teenagers, you've wasted a lot of time of to start teaching them about money, you know. And like I said, we teach them more in what we do and, you know, our actions and the things that we say that we don't even think about more than we do about, you know, sitting them down and preaching to them. I don't know if that's the right term or not, but that's the term I got today. Yeah, teach early. You know, teach your youngsters to save their nickels and dimes. Let them roll them up and bring them to the bank, and see that because a lot of kids don't think anything about change, but we've got a big jar upstairs, and when it's full and we roll it, it's 150 bucks, somewhere around in there. But, so teach them about that. Get their piggy bank. Let them put those coins in there and then walk them through the process. And even, you know, as they get older, equate their chores, and I know this is gonna rattle a lot of people, but equate their chores with money that they get, whether they get an allowance. I didn't get an allowance when I was a kid. I got paid for grades. That's what I got paid for. Because that taught me that the importance of education. But if you can if you give them an allowance already, attach a money amount to their chores. And if they're not doing chores, not telling you how to raise your kids, but attach something where when they do something, they get paid. Just like in the real world, you know, we go to our job, we get paid. But also think about they're saving money, they're saving money, they're saving money. So maybe give them something that they can pay for. And that might sound silly to a lot of y'all. We're going to go on vacation and you want to go do this. You buy your ticket. You know, and I'm not saying $100 ticket, but if it's a $10 ticket, let them take that allowance that they have earned. Now they're a consumer. Let them see the power in that. That brings up a great memory of my dad taking me to the bank to deposit money into savings and watching it grow. I love going to the bank, positive reinforcement. Definitely. You know, we used to have passbooks. I don't know if y'all remember how many, I'm dating myself, I know, but we had little books, and if they don't do those anymore, they probably don't, but, get a little memo book, a small memo book, and let your child, you know, like they get money for their birthday, let them go down, deposit it into their bank account, and take note of that, you know, write it in there. If they want a new bike, let them buy their bike, or maybe you buy the bike and they buy the helmet. Okay? It doesn't have to be an all or nothing thing, you know, and I'm not telling you to spend all your kids' money. What I'm telling you, what I'm suggesting to you, okay, I'm not telling you anything. I'm suggesting is to teach them money responsibility early so they don't have to go through a lot of the hard lessons that some of us did when we were out on our own and got into debt and had high credit card bills and worked 2 jobs because we got ourselves in debt. So teach them early so they don't have to go through that. All right. I thank you so much. Cindy, you were great. It's so nice to have somebody out there. If y'all watch this on replay, put hashtag replay, leave me some comments. Let me know your favorite money memories. Did your parents teach you about money? My mom really didn't teach us about money, but one of the things that I love that she did, and probably some of y'all, if you listen to my podcast, heard this, is that you know, all the candy and stuff as you're checking out, she wouldn't say, we don't have the money for that. What she would tell us is that they're not selling that today. They sold that yesterday. And as a child, it was like, oh, okay. So, but I never had that we're poor in my head or we don't have enough money. You know, I didn't have that because that's not what she taught us. So, what are we teaching our kids and how can we be better at that? All right. Thank y'all so much. I love you. Have a great day and be blessed. Bye.